whispers are getting softer. Shouting is getting
Welcome into the first edition of the Purple Pod. My name is Steve. I'm joined by...
My name's Ken. What's up?
How's everyone doing? So Kenny and I and my good friend Cody, we were all messaging today talking about creating our first K-State sports podcast, and we decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and jump in and get one going before the start of the football season. We're pretty excited. Hopefully you're watching this because you're excited as well for K-State football coming up. Last year was pretty awesome. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about our season preview. We're also going to be talking about this weekend's first matchup as well. Before we do that, though, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that. We're just starting out, but hopefully more K-State fans are watching. Kenny, how are you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm feeling great, dude. And this is super cool. Kind of hopping on the podcast bandwagon. You know, everybody's doing one. So I thought, you know, you're the one that asked me about it. I'm like, man, that's a genius idea. Let's get on a K-State podcast. This is perfect, man, because I ain't going anywhere. This is where I've been for so many years. I've been a huge fan. And I know you're a K-State alumni, so this is right where we need to be.
Heck yeah, dude. So let's go ahead and get into like a little bit about ourselves before we get started. I'm from Manhattan. I'm 35 years old. I went to K-State for both of my degrees. I got my undergrad in communications, and then I got a master's in education. I'm a journalism teacher at Highland Park High School. I've been going to football games at K-State since the 90s. The first game that I remember was like a big deal to me was the 2000 Nebraska game in the snow. I remember my grandpa took me to that because his brother, who was older than him, said it was way too cold to go. So he took me, and it was a phenomenal game, and I was hooked. I've only missed 4 home games since I became a student back in 2006. And I'm pretty excited. I got season tickets again this year, and I also have a press pass as well. So I'm super excited about this upcoming season. Kenny, let's hear a little bit about you, man.
Well, I can't really compete with that, man. I didn't go to K-State. I didn't really even go to college. But, I mean, I've been in Manhattan area, surrounding areas like ever since I was about 10 years old. And I've actually, you know, I went to a little school named Riley County, which is home to a couple well-known K-State alumni. We got John McGraw, and then also the big well-known one is Jordy Nelson. And Jordy was just a couple years older than me, so I remember seeing him in school and stuff like that. So it was pretty wild, you know, seeing his success in K-State and then therefore even further in the NFL. And so I think seeing him do so well at K-State, you know, breaking records and just doing absolutely amazing. That actually got me super into K-State football and started watching that around, I think it must have been around like 2007 or 8 or something like that was when he was really thriving. Maybe it was 2006 to 2008 around that time.
It was 2005 through 2007 was his
okay. Yeah. My memory is really bad, but yeah. But yeah, I just remember like at that point we going to K-State games, loving the environment, man. K-State fans, there is no one else like K-State fans. They're awesome. And just going to the very first game, I was like 16 or 15 at the time. Man, it was like, it was a total game changer. I'm like, man, I got to keep coming to these. And I mean, like you said, you haven't missed a handful of games.
4 games in like 17 years.
Yeah, I mean, and like that just goes to show. I mean, there ain't nothing like going to a K-State game, and especially when you're from the area, you know, rocking that purple, you know. So, absolutely. And then just years later, I still live in the Manhattan area. Like I work in the Manhattan area. So and anytime I get a chance to watch K-State games, I mean, I don't get the privilege like you do to go to so many, but I tell you what, man. I still catch as many as I can, and I still root for that team. So, yeah.
Absolutely, dude.
Go
Absolutely.
Cats.
Yes, sir. I like that. And if people don't know, Kenny is a musician. He was in a band for a while. They toured. Why don't you talk about that a little bit, and then we
Yeah.
will get into this video.
Yeah. So yeah, that was so my journey in life was not so much in the academic way. I foregoed the college route, and I went to chase my passions and my dreams for singing and songwriting and being in a band. So I made some uh, I had some mild success. I would say some pretty good success in the early 2010s, and then after that, I decided I wanted to settle down and get a family started, and kind of establish roots here in Manhattan. And then it actually wasn't until just recently my family and I actually decided that we're gonna try to maybe go back into music. And so now I'm actually stepping back into music as a solo artist. But that's neither here nor there. But like that being involved in music, that's kind of always been my thing. So yeah, and that was kind of my past, and now it's kind of turning into my future a little bit with like the recent solo artist stuff that I'm working on. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I have my own YouTube channel as well. That's why there's a bunch of comic books behind me. I've been doing that for almost 5 years now. I love it. It's
It's
a
so
lot
awesome.
of fun, but at the same time, I do like to talk about comic books as well. I'm going to leave a link to my YouTube channel below. I'll leave a link to his as well, his music channel, Ken Savvy. Make
That's
sure you
right.
guys are following him. Make sure you're following me as well, Burke Family 54 Comics. Okay, enough about us. Let's talk about some K-State football. Last season was a dream. Last season was an absolute dream.
Mm.
Um, almost from beginning to end. K-State went 10-4, won the Big 12 championship in Arlington against TCU. Went to the Sugar Bowl, first New York Six Bowl for K-State, and New Year's Six, sorry,
Yeah.
bowl for K-State, and we played with Alabama for a half. And then they
Yeah.
showed why they are Alabama.
Yeah.
Last year was a lot of fun. Kenny, what were your overall thoughts on last year, K-State going 10-4?
My overall thoughts, I think if you were to ask me about to summarize that season, is man, I cannot wait to see where this is going next year. I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, man, we have got so much momentum after what happened this year. And even though we did lose some big players, we still maintained a lot of big ones as well, a lot of really great performers as well. So, I mean, like some of the biggest, obviously the biggest game was that Big 12 championship. I mean, when was the last time that happened? Like you could probably tell off the top of your head. I can't remember.
2012.
2012. That's right. So it's been a minute. We were due for a Big 12 championship. That was a big deal. And so it's super excited about that. Obviously, but again, my overall thoughts going in after the season ended was, man, I cannot wait to see where this momentum is going to go. The coaching staff on point, the scouting staff is on point. I have so much trust and faith in them for this year, and I just hope that we continue to capitalize and keep riding this train, man. I'm super excited.
Dude, you took the words right out of my mouth. I agree. Last year was amazing, capped with a Big 12 championship. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to the game with my wife. It was awesome. Jerry World is amazing. That stadium is so nice. The game was electric. There was 69,000 fans there, and like on the way down there, every single place we stopped at, K-State fans everywhere. Every gas station, every food place, K-State fans everywhere. Of that 69,000, I would imagine 30,000 were K-State fans. There were definitely more TCU fans, and we didn't see them until the day of because it's like a 20 or 30-minute drive. So they just drove up the day of. But it made it more awesome because like the whole place was overrun of K-State fans the night before, the day of when College Game Day was there. Like getting to walk by and see like all of those people, Kirk Herbstreit, Pat McAfee, like it was really cool to see all that for sure. And like I said, the game was amazing. It was nice that K-State continued its streak over KU, winning 14 straight.
Oh yeah, we got to make sure we make that very clear. that we're continuing this domination of this KU K-State rivalry. But yeah, continue.
They said it's when I was looking up the stats on it, it is the longest streak in the K-State KU rivalry, 14 years. That's pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
Yes, and K-State ended the season on a 4-game win streak before losing in the Sugar Bowl against Alabama, which I came away with that game thinking like, okay, yes, it sucked that K-State lost, but I was more just impressed with how good Alabama was. Like I knew they were good, and K-State, we will always have that 10-0 lead. Deuce Vaughn's 80-yard touchdown run or whatever it was. That was great. The Tulane loss early was pretty frustrating. But right after that, you get that huge win at Oklahoma with Adrian Martinez going off. That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian Martinez, even though like in the back half of the season, we can't forget like how huge he was in the beginning. I mean, the guy, he even though he didn't play the full season, he still scored the most touchdowns in the whole entire roster last year. I mean,
he played pretty well. He played pretty well. That is
he was really good.
yes. It's just that Will Howard, when he came in, he took the offense a whole other level.
Yeah,
that is for sure.
Different styles, of course.
Style. Yeah.
Yep.
And I will say this: without Martinez, I'm not sure K-State beats Oklahoma.
I don't think so.
Yeah. K-State did wallop Oklahoma State 48-0 after losing their first conference game to TCU, which honestly, K-State probably should have won that as well, if not for injuries.
It was close. It was
K-State was up 28-10 in that game, and then TCU came back, and the Texas game was pretty frustrating. It felt like Texas could not be stopped, no matter who they were playing. And then the very next week, right after that, we're like, okay, looks like Texas is going to be playing TCU in a Big 12 championship game, and then Texas loses at home to TCU, which bumps K-State right back in a driver's seat to go to Arlington, and they took care of business after Texas not losing. And like I said, they won 4 straight. They started with a 31-3 win at Baylor.
Yeah, the 31-3 was unreal.
It was unreal because it's been a minute since K-State beat Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor's been always been that thorn in our side, it seemed like, just for so long. And then, man, just that was a massive victory, especially coming off after a loss.
Yes.
I mean, at home and we're going away. I mean, that's tough.
Yes. Absolutely.
Felt good.
Absolutely. I agree. And I believe it was Chris Kleiman's first wins against both Baylor and West Virginia as a coach at K-State. So that was really nice to see. Get that monkey off of his back for sure. There may have been a second one against West Virginia, but I believe that's definitely his first one against Baylor. So last year was pretty awesome. But enough about last year. It's 2023. I'm pretty excited about it. And like you said, the coaches, I feel like they were taking advantage of winning that Big 12 championship. They brought in a pretty nice recruiting class, headlined by Avery Johnson, a 4-star quarterback out of Maize in Wichita, Kansas. Everyone is pretty high on him. They brought in a bunch of other people as well. Asa Newsom is another 4-star player. He is a linebacker. Both Avery Johnson and Asa Newsom are both on the 2 Deep that was released yesterday, Monday, August 28th. And I feel like there's actually a bunch of freshmen on a 2 Deep. I'm pretty excited about the new players coming in and definitely everyone returning as well.
Yeah, it seems like we kind of also got some freshmen on the defensive side as well. I mean,
there is.
I'm again, we won't know until we see him, on the field in these upcoming games. But I mean, I have so much faith, like I said earlier, in this coaching staff and the scouting crew, because just judging by what we've seen in the last couple of years, I mean, especially last year, obviously, man, it just gives you so much faith and inspiration that this is going to be successful year this year. Just judging by what I mean, of course, like I said, we don't got Deuce anymore, and we don't have
Cade Warner or Malik, but there's a lot of good players returning. In fact, so I kind of want to let's go over the depth chart, and then we'll be talking about who's returning and and the production we're getting. So
Fantastic.
starting off, receiver, we have at wide receiver number 1, we got Keegan Johnson, a transfer from Iowa. Everyone is pretty high on this guy. Apparently, he is a speedster.
Yeah.
And 6 foot 193. Everyone is expecting him to step into that Malik role. He's backed up by Xavier Lloyd. Left tackle, the entire offensive line returning is huge. Everyone is returning. At left tackle, you got KT Leviston, 6'5", 330, senior. Left guard, we got the projected next first-round draft pick for K-State, Cooper Beebe, 6'4", 335 pounds, from Piper, Kansas. Center, we have Hayden Gillum, 6'3", 300 pounds, senior. Cooper Beebe was a senior as well. At right guard, we actually have 2 different players that have been playing a lot for K-State. Hadley Panzer played most of last year. He's a 6'4", 303-pound junior. He took over for Taylor Potier, who got hurt, I believe, in the first game of the season. He's a 6'3", 291 senior from Bishop Miege. And then at right tackle, normally it's going to be Christian Duffy, who's a senior, but he's hurt right now. So they are starting Carver Willis, a 6'5", 291 junior. That offensive line, I'll tell you what, man, I'm probably the most excited about that position group of any position group at K-State.
Especially since, of course, we can't forget we got Will Howard back in quarterback, and you want to see a veteran line who is big, who can handle the pressure really well, and just the way that Will Howard wants to play. He wants to play more of that passing game, more of your traditional quarterback kind of style, at least the modern day traditional, I guess, more like the Tom Brady, staying in the pocket, throw the ball. You want a good line that's going to be able to support that kind of gameplay and that play style. And so I think having that veteran line come back, that is exactly what we want to see going forward. Plus, with the, like you were saying, we have high hopes for this new receiver coming in, getting this duo locked in early. That's going to be big. That's going to be huge for us.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Absolutely. Will Howard's got his next number 1 target to throw it to. Keegan Johnson. I'm really excited about him. Like you said, the offensive line protecting big Will Howard, which, dude, he is listed at 6'5".
Yeah, he's
242 pounds. Holy cow.
Hey, let's not forget that he also knows how to run too. I mean, he made some pretty big drives as well when he was on his feet. So even though I say that he prefers to be, more of the passer, more of whatever, but this guy can run, man. He can put on the wheels and go, man. He's already shown that from last year, and you expect to see that again this year. So
absolutely, dude. And like you were saying, dude, he was taking off a lot, mostly his freshman and sophomore year. He had a 50+ yard touchdown run against Texas a couple years ago. He had another big one against TCU as well. He can run. It definitely seems like Colin Klein prefers him to be a pocket passer, and I kind of agree with that, considering how much quarterback injury issues K-State's had over the years. 6'5", 242. Hopefully he's pretty durable, but if he's not, we got a pair of 4-star quarterbacks backing him up: Jake Rubley or Avery Johnson, like we talked about earlier, that 4-star kid from Mays. He's going to be special. If you watch any of his highlights, he is going to be a special quarterback. I'm excited to see he's already broken into the 2 deep.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to see that as well. I haven't watched too much. I think you've probably covered more about over his film from high school, but I mean, I've heard great things about him as well, and so I'm excited to see what he could do.
I actually saw him in person about a year and a half ago when he was a junior. Mays was playing the school that I work at, Highland Park, in the state basketball tournament. And the dude's an athlete. He got a steal, came down, and just threw down a dunk. It was pretty. I was like, okay, this guy's a player. This guy.
Yeah. You competitive. You like to see it. So that's cool. I'm excited to see it.
You know what's interesting when looking at this depth chart? We have Ben Sinnott listed as a fullback, which is interesting considering he's largely been considered a tight end.
Yeah.
Now, I think he's going to play more of an H-back role, meaning he's going to line up at fullback, line up in the slot, line up at tight end, all of those. I feel like they put the tight end in there as well because other tight ends are going to play like last year of Samuel Wheeler. And they want to get a couple more names on the depth chart
Yeah.
listed as well. I feel like, at least.
Yeah, again, we cannot ignore the size, man. 6'4", 245.
He had a breakout year last year. We're going to get into the numbers here pretty soon. He had a pretty nice year, and I think he's going to do even better this year for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then running back. We got DJ Giddens coming back, sophomore from Junction City. Hurts my heart because I'm a Manhattan High guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He is a baller, dude. Like, I am excited about him. And then you got the or with Trayshawn Ward, the transfer from Florida State. I'm excited about both of those. That duo, that K-State is getting Thunder and Lightning right there. DJ Giddens, Trayshawn Ward. We're going to be getting into the stats here pretty soon, but they both.
Man, DJ's got some big shoes to fill, man. He's got
he does.
Real big shoes to fill. My eyes are going to be on him, man. I mean, again, we already alluded to this so many times about Will Howard and how he likes to play the game and how maybe Klein is going to, be more, looking towards the passing game. And if it works, it works, but when it comes to you got to have some sort of running game. And DJ, man, the eyes are going to be on you, man. You have such big shoes to fill after what Deuce had performed last year. I mean, he was just a superstar. And so, like, for him to come in, I'm kind of with you, Junction City, Manhattan, the big rivals, you want, but the thing is, K-State's a family, and if you're with us, like, you're good in my eyes. So I'm rooting for you, DJ. I'm rooting for you big time.
K-State's been known to get some pretty good players from Junction City. I don't know if you ever remember a guy named Ty Zimmerman. That guy could play. Guy could play. And they had a couple basketball players as well in the early 2000s. You know what? We've been alluding to these stats. I'm just going to go ahead and get into them as we get more into the depth chart. So Will Howard returning. He's a senior quarterback. Last year, he threw for 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions, with 2 of those coming against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. DJ Giddens, returning running back last year in a backup role. He rushed for 518 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, and 6 touchdowns. Trayshawn Ward, who's going to be paired with him last year at Florida State, he ran for 628 yards, 6.6 yards per carry, and 7 touchdowns. They are losing Deuce Vaughn in the backfield. He's going to be stellar in NFL, dude. I'm so excited that he's playing with his dad's team in his home state, Dallas Cowboys. He's going to do really well there. But last year at K-State, he rushed for 1,558 yards, which is 5.3 yards per carry, which is ridiculous for a starting running back. Usually you see that high for backups who don't get as many touches. But for him, who got a ton of touches, 1,500 yards is insane.
Oh, is that like 100? That's like 100 yards a game.
More than 100 yards a game.
Oh, yeah.
K-State had 14 games last year. He had over 1,500 rushing yards.
So maybe it's like 100 and something. Yeah. That's.
So he also had 9 rushing touchdowns, and then receiving, he had 42 catches, which was 5th on the team, for 378 yards and 3 touchdowns, basically averaging 1 touchdown per game. He had almost 2,000 all-purpose yards from scrimmage. Like he was a player. He's going to be missed for sure. Yeah. But I do feel like DJ Giddens and Trayshawn Ward are going to step up to the plate, and they're going to do pretty well. I do feel like that. We talked about Keegan Johnson, the transfer from Iowa. He played 2 seasons there. His freshman year was the more statistic-filled season. He had, where is it? He had 18 catches for 352 yards. Now, if you know Iowa and their offense, it basically doesn't exist. It does not exist.
Yeah.
So that is actually pretty good, especially for a freshman. He didn't do very much his sophomore year because I believe he left early and entered the transfer portal. But I'm pretty excited about him. He's taking over that Malik Knowles role. K-State is returning Phillip Brooks, who had 45 catches last year, 3rd most on the team, for 587 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now they're losing their number one receiver, Malik Knowles, who had 48 catches for 725 yards, but only 2 touchdowns. But he was pretty big in the return game and the rushing game as well.
Yeah.
And then they also lost Cade Warner, who was second on the team in receptions, who had 456 yards and 5 touchdowns, which was definitely his best season overall in college. I really like that guy. Whenever they were interviewing him, he just seemed like a really good dude, and he came from a great family.
Obviously, Kurt Warner's son. I mean,
Yes.
kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. I'm sad losing him. He was a great player. Remember that one-handed catch he had against Tulane? That was insane.
That was so sick. I mean,
and then he had that other one-handed catch against TCU where he just took it away from the defender. He
definitely had a really good season last year.
Absolutely.
I'm happy that he got that in
Absolutely.
there. So yeah.
And we're talking about Ben Sinnott. He had 31 catches a year ago, which is 4th most on the team, for 447 yards and 4 touchdowns, which I didn't feel like they even threw him the ball that much until like halfway through the season, whenever Will Howard took over.
Yeah.
I definitely expect those numbers to go.
He's more of a blocker before, for Adrian, which is fine. But
Yep.
I'm excited to see how he is at this new position.
Absolutely. He's definitely going to be featured more, and defenses are definitely going to have to game plan for him.
I mean, like I said, this guy's a monster. He's a huge guy that they're gonna have to deal with if they're planning on using him. Obviously, he's gonna be used for a lot of blocks and creating some opportunities for the run game for DJ. But I mean, you never know. You never know what's up the sleeves, of these coaches. So
absolutely.
Hopefully, we'll get to see it soon. We'll get to see it soon.
When adding up Deuce Vaughn and DJ Giddens rushing, and not even including Adrian Martinez, just the 2 running backs had over 2,000 rushing yards. And that's pretty good. It says a lot about the running backs, but I also feel like it says a lot about the offensive line, like we talked about earlier. I'm really excited that they all returned. I'm expecting big things from them for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To finish out the offense here before we get into the defense, Phillip Brooks, he came back for his 6th year at K-State. Like we talked about earlier, we went over his stats. He's definitely going to be one of the starting receivers, backed up by Shane Porter and Jace Brown. They also talked about how Seth Porter, I believe, was dinged up a little bit, so he should be in the mix as well at wide receiver. At the other wide receiver position, the 3rd wide receiver position, there is RJ Garcia, who had that huge touchdown, his first touchdown of his career against TCU in the Big 12 championship game. That was amazing catch, amazing play. And I don't know if you've been watching like those like social media videos that K-State puts out, but he's actually a really, really, really funny dude as well.
Oh no, I haven't caught that. I need to get up on that.
Dude, he is hilarious, dude.
That's awesome.
He seems like a really fun dude to hang out with. And he's backed up by Jaden Jackson. Let's get into the defense now, because the defense is going to look a lot different this year. Yeah. Obviously, K-State lost a 1st-round draft pick in Felix Anudike-Uzomah, Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12, Lineman of the Year in the Big 12. He went in the 1st round to Kansas City. He led the team in sacks, obviously, with 8.5 sacks. Missing him is going to be huge.
Yeah, we already kind of said this, that we got some young defensive players coming in, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, I still feel like the defense overall is going to do pretty well. Khalid Duke is coming back here at defensive end. And he was like the star before Felix. Like, I don't know if you remember that. Like, everyone was ranting and raving about Khalid Duke before Felix Anudike-Uzomah went off, dude. Like, I'm pretty excited. Khalid Duke went back to defensive end, and I feel like he's going to wreak havoc this year.
Great. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he can do. I mean, this is his last year. Like maybe we'll see, that last year, that fight, to really, make a name for himself here. So that's when you look at these seniors, that's what you're kind of thinking. You're like, okay, this is their year to like really show themselves to the world, show themselves to scouts and all the other stuff. So a lot of what's played in a lot of their minds is like, I might get picked up here. I might get looked at here. So I'm going to probably play a little harder this season. And so that's definitely probably, hopefully hopefully they're playing hard no matter what. But, there's always there's always that, that sense of like, this is my last year. I'm going to put it all, I'm going to leave it all on the field kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely, and he's got a hell of a motor. He's got a hell of a motor.
Yeah.
The other DN spot is another senior, Brendan Mott, who was actually the second on a team in sacks last year of 6. So I'm pretty excited that he locked down one of these starting spots at D end.
Yeah.
Basically, it's going to be those two, plus Nate Matlack is going to play both, I believe, defensive end spots. He played a lot as last year and the year before, and the other defensive end right now is Cody Stufflebeam. But we've heard a lot about Chidi Obiazer. I think that's how you say it. And then there was a 4-star defensive end that came in as well, Jordan Allen, that everyone's excited about as well. At D tackle, Uso Suomalo is hurt right now. Otherwise, he'd be the starter at defensive tackle. Everyone has been raving about him. He should be a great replacement for Eli Huggins. But right now, they're starting Javon Banks or Damian Ialalo, I believe is how you say it. They are two pretty big guys, 6'1", 296, and 6'2", 290. I feel like the defensive line is not going to be as good as last year, but they're still going to be very, very, very solid with a couple seniors there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we're not going to talk about the offensive line being the strength of the team, the second biggest strength of the team, in my opinion, is the linebacking core. Led by Daniel Green, who decided to return, shocked everyone, decided to return for a 6th year. He's locking down that middle linebacker spot, 6'3", 245.
Yeah.
At the other linebacker spots, we got the machine, Austin Moore at will linebacker, who's a senior as well from Kansas. And then Desmond Purnell. He kind of shocked a lot of people. He went from safety to linebacker. He mostly played special teams last year, but this year he is bulked up to 224 pounds, and he's playing a Sam linebacker spot. And he's got that speed to go with it since he played DB. Those three are three hell of good linebackers. And then backing him up, Jake Clifton can play all 3 spots. Austin Romaine's a freshman coming in. Asa Newsom's that 4-star freshman I talked about earlier. And then you also have Toby Osunsanmi and then Bo Palmer as well. This linebacker core is deep, and we didn't even talk about that JUCO transfer from Hutch CC.
Yeah, that's right.
That was, I believe, a 4-star recruit as well. This linebacker core is deep, and I'm excited about this for sure.
Yeah, this is what you want to see. You want to see something that's going to be exciting on the defense, and of course, when you have a linebacker core like this, injuries are going to happen, but you're confident that if one of these guys gets hurt, like you just said, Jay Clifton, he can just come in, take any one of those roles, fill it in, no problem. I mean, that you don't want injuries to happen, but this is the game of football, and when you have a deep core, when you have confidence that your defense is going to be rock solid, if injury were to happen, you've got some solid backups that can come in and just take care of business. So I'm just excited as you are, man. This is baller from K-State. Baller.
Absolutely. You got the motor over there with Desmond Purnell. You got just hell of a dude at middle linebacker, Daniel Green. And you got the machine who will just basically pick anything up that anyone else misses. And that the backups there, Jake Clifton, everyone was pretty high on him last year as a freshman. To see he's already playing all 3 positions. And he played a lot. He was actually on that 4th down stand against TCU on the goal line in the Big 12 championship game. Mm-hmm. He's a stud. I'm excited about this group for sure. Now, I do have question marks on the back end.
Yeah.
I got some question marks there. So at corner, we have Jacob Parrish, who played a lot as a freshman last year, locking down one of the starting spots. He's backed up by senior Keenan Garber, who moved over from wide receiver to corner late last year. At the other corner spot, we have Will Lee, who is a JUCO transfer from Hutch, who, when he was committed to K-State, Alabama came calling, and K-State held off Alabama for his services. So I think he's going to be a pretty good corner. Now, I'm a little nervous about the backups. So Justice James and Keenan Garber, like we talked about, he was a receiver a year ago at this time. You know what I mean? And Justice James, I don't know a lot about him. He is a JUCO transfer.
Yeah, me neither.
But I feel like the starters are pretty solid at corner. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is what I was talking about when I meant like we've got a young defense. Like this is what I was looking at. It's like, oh man, hopefully these guys step up and really fill in the gaps here. But this is kind of what I was a little alluding to when I was like, man, we got some young players on the really deep passes. Like the corners, the free safeties. We gotta like, I hope it works out. I hope it like we don't have any issues. And again, it all goes back to what I said at the very beginning. Like I have faith in the coaches and in the coaching staff and the scouting staff. So, I mean, if they say that this is the best that put together defensive deep, backs, then I'm all for it.
Absolutely.
I mean, when it comes to like how long you've been out there, the sophomore, freshman, whatever. I mean, talent is talent, and if these guys show up and take care of business, then I mean, that who cares? Like if they're sophomores, juniors, freshmen, whatever. Like it's just the ones that we're not sure, the backups. We're just not sure on the backups. So yeah.
So when looking at this, we're going to talk about safety now. Looking at the 5 on the back end for DBs, in terms of ones or twos, there are only 2 seniors that are on the 2 deep here for corners and safeties, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It kind of feels like they lack a little bit of experience.
That's
But
what I
also
mean.
at the same
Yeah.
time, it makes you kind of excited about the future with basically all of these guys returning.
Mhm.
The only starter that K-State would lose after this year would be Kobe Savage, one of the captains on the team.
Yeah.
Huge hitter, great player.
Yeah.
He's starting at the strong safety spot. The other safety spots are locked down by VJ Payne, who played a lot as a freshman. He's 6'3", 200 pounds as a safety. I love seeing that size at safety. And then the other safety is Marcus Siegel, who is from North Dakota State, which obviously he's familiar with Coach Kleiman and his defensive philosophies.
Yep.
I think the safety starters are a lot like the corners in terms of they kind of lack like a lot of star power, but also at the same time, I'm still excited about them. And the backups, I'm a little worried about, but overall, I feel like DBs in general, like this group is going to be, I wouldn't say a strength of the team, but it could be a strength of the team by
Yep.
later in the season.
Yeah, I mean, what you took the words right out of my mouth. The experience. I mean, like it's totally different ball game when you're playing, Big 12 football. So it's like getting in there, getting the reps in, and hopefully I want to see them succeed. Obviously, I'm a big fan, so I want to see them succeed, and hopefully, they just really get behind some veterans, get behind the coaching staff, really pay attention, just get the job done like where they need to get it done. And yeah, when it comes to youth, they also are probably more healthier and less banged up, so like
Sure.
maybe they can like put on better performances, right now. Who knows? I mean, it's like when you said question mark, that's what it is. It's question mark. It's like unproven. We don't know. Like we're just guessing.
K-State's been doing it the last couple years, bringing in a bunch of transfer guys, a bunch of young guys,
Yeah.
and the defense and the DBs have always done well under Kleinerman and Van Malone. I feel like they'll be okay. I'm a little nervous right now, but I feel like I'll feel a lot better after Saturday. Let's talk about the kickers really quick, and then we're going to get into the predictions for the season in this Saturday as well. So, field goal, Chris Tennant is going to be the kicker this year. He had some struggles last year. Let's be honest. He had some struggles.
Yeah.
He missed a couple kicks against TCU, and then he was taken off the field and basically never seen again after that. Ty Zentner came in, and he was automatic. He might as well name him Mr. Automatic because I don't think he missed a single kick after he came in. And he played for the Eagles, and I think he just got dropped and then picked up by the Texans, possibly. I could be wrong. And then Brandon Plattner is still the long snapper. The holder is Jake Bloomer, who's also the punter, who was the punter before Ty Zentner. And then Chris Tennant is going to handle the kickoffs as well. And then at kick return and punt return, we got Phillip Brooks at both spots, and then Keegan Johnson and Seth Porter. I saw the stat on the notes for the upcoming game. K-State has not allowed a kickoff return touchdown since 2013. Over that time, K-State has returned 14 of their own for touchdowns. So not only do they have basically a 10-year streak of not allowing a kickoff return touchdown, they scored 14 more over the last 10 years. which that the 10-year mark of not allowing a touchdown was the longest in the conference, obviously. Second longest, I believe, was TCU. But you got to always feel good about K-State and special teams.
Wow.
K-State is basically special teams you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did not know that stat, but that is really cool to know. And I guess I kind of always knew that they were better, that they were really good special teams team. You know, I guess I just didn't realize how good they were until you just said that stat. So that's pretty cool. I like that. That's nice.
Absolutely, dude. I'm excited about it, and I feel like this year is gonna be pretty special. Pun
It's one
intended.
for the kids. One for the kids.
Okay, so we talked about last year. We talked about the depth chart. Let's go ahead and talk about this year coming up. I'm going to pull up the schedule, and
Are we gonna talk about like predictions for this Saturday? Or are we gonna just like do predictions through the whole season, or this Saturday and the whole season?
I feel like let's talk about the whole season overall, and then we'll talk about this upcoming game.
Okay.
For the end here. So
all right. So do you want to just go by game and just like what we think is going to happen, or do you just want to say it in the outside? Okay. All right.
Sure. Well, we can do that, or we can whatever you want to do. This is our first episode.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to like kind of just go. It'd be kind of neat to go through game by game and just sort of give our opinions on just like win, loss, win, whatever. So
okay. So K-State starts off this Saturday against SEMO, an FCS school who made the playoffs last year in Division I AA. They are a top 10 team going into this year for FCS teams. Having said that, I believe the line is like 24.5. I think K-State covers that pretty easily. I got K-State winning this one pretty big.
Yeah, I have K-State winning this game for sure. But I don't know if you could write a little W next to that, but W. So this Saturday, we're gonna win this Saturday. All right.
Yep. Okay, so let me see if I can zoom in a little bit better. Is that?
Oh yeah, that's a whole lot better.
That's a lot better there. Okay,
that makes
we have K-State winning Saturday, starting off 1-0. The next week they got a home game against Troy, who was picked to win its conference this year. It's an 11 a.m. game. Which, by the way, I believe the first 4 home games are all sold out. K-State fans are doing its thing. Standing room only tickets remain. That's pretty awesome. I got K-State winning against Troy. I got K-State winning by 10.
Yeah, I have K-State winning as well. I think it'd be a little bit closer. I think they win by just a touchdown, maybe though.
Okay, 2-0. K-State's 2-0 from both of us heading into SEC country of Missouri. You know Missouri is going to be up for this game. You know Missouri is going to be up for this game after K-State basically throttled them last year, 40-12, with 6 of their points coming on the last play of the game. So basically K-State won 40-6, and K-State didn't even play that well. Like they only had like 300 yards of offense.
Yeah.
I got K-State winning a close game at Missouri. Missouri won a lot. They lost a lot of close games last year, including they lost a close game to Georgia, at Auburn, a bunch of other ones as well. I think their defense is legit. I got questions about Missouri's offense and their quarterback. I got K-State winning by 7 points at Missouri.
I'll just say it, man. Yeah, I agree. I think the first 4 games, I think I have K-State winning. It's actually it's actually Oklahoma State where I might go the other way, but we'll see. I definitely have them winning for Missouri. So K-State 3-0 in the first 3 games. We're heading to the last weekend of September. UCF. What do you got?
I got K-State winning like a weird game by like 8 or 9 points, like something like I don't know, like 23-14 or something like that. I don't know. It'll be like a lower scoring game. I feel like K-State's still going to win by multiple scores, but I feel like it's going to be a weird scoring game. K-State starts off 4-0.
Is that just because of like we play?
I don't know. I just got a weird feeling about that game. Like it's going to be a weird game. And like the last time K-State played UCF, like it was that huge storm here. There's that photo of like the storm coming in. I never left the stadium, which in hindsight was super dumb, but I ended up in the front row. That was a weird game. K-State won at the end. I got K-State winning this one though. Like I said, a weird game by 8 or
Yeah.
9 points.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got K-State winning as well.
I do. Now we get into the big hitters here. This
Yep.
is where the predictions might waver a bit here.
Now, before we get into the rest of this, I will say K-State's schedule this year, even though K-State was picked to finish, I believe, second in the Big 12, K-State has a top 10 toughest, hardest, like second top 10 hardest schedule in all of college football, and you're about to see why. Looking at every single one of these teams coming up, it's a gauntlet to finish off Big 12 play after starting with UCF at home. At Oklahoma State, they're definitely going to be up for K-State after losing 48-0 last year. Having said that, I like K-State to win by multiple scores at Oklahoma State. I think they're going to be better. I think K-State's way too good for Oklahoma State this year. K-State's going to win. Even though it's a Friday night game, it's going to be kind of weird early. K-State might be trailing a little bit in the second quarter.
This is an away game as well.
It's a first Big 12 away game. I got K-State by 14.
Ooh, man, that is. I want to say that. I think it might be a little closer though. I don't know. I just feel like again, we don't know what's going to happen in the season. If I would say, I would agree with you if like if we're just firing on all cylinders, we're really just like shot out the gate swinging, no injuries, we're all healthy, then yeah, I would say 2 touchdown win victory. But I think if we have an injury or if we've got something that happened, maybe it's not as big, but I still have them winning, but it's a lot closer than that. So yeah.
Okay. The next game is arguably K-State's second toughest game of the season.
Yeah.
At Texas Tech, who by all accounts is picked to finish third or fourth, depending on the publication, in the Big 12.
Yep.
Joey McGuire is already turning around Texas Tech. They're becoming kind of a team you don't want to play. They're becoming a tougher team. Patrick Mahomes' alma mater. I've gone back and forth on my pick on this. I want to be a homer, and I'm picking K-State by 3 at Texas Tech to stay undefeated.
This is where I have them losing. This is their second away game, tough away game. I feel like they're not going to pull it out. This is, like you said, this is a tough game, and I feel like they're going to struggle a little bit here. Maybe I'm hoping that they don't, obviously, but I'd love to be proved wrong. But I think they're going to lose this game. I think they'll lose it just barely. It'll be a low spread victory, like a scoring spread. I think it'll be maybe 3 points or a touchdown. Maybe that they'll lose at 3-7. They'll lose this one, but I have them winning the next one at home.
Well, what's interesting, I think K-State's only lost once against Texas Tech in like the last 10 years. Now, each year is different. Every team is different.
Yeah.
But if you would have told me like the early 2000s, K-State would go 9-1 against Texas Tech when they had Mike Leach as their head coach, I felt like Mike Leach was like way too advanced for Bill Snyder at that time. Like their offense was just scoring all over K-State. But last 10 years, K-State's dominated. At the halfway point, you got K-State 5-1. I got them 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
Heading to the back half of the season, I think we're both picking K-State to beat TCU.
Yeah.
In a close game. I got K-State winning a close game by like 5 or 6 points.
They lost some big players in TCU. Let's not forget that. They lost some big leadership in TCU. So they've got, just like we've got some shoes to fill on our end, they've got some, I think, even more important and bigger shoes to fill on their end. So, and it's also at our home turf. We had from my point of view, we just lost to Texas Tech. We're going to be hungry for another victory. So Absolutely. We're going to be coming out swinging on TCU, especially. Yeah. So I have them winning against TCU here.
I got K-State winning, going 7-0. Not feeling great about it because Texas Tech is a tough game. You got them starting 6-1, 7-0. Both of those are great starts, regardless.
Oh yeah.
Great starts. Houston at home, I feel like, is probably the second easiest game on K-State's schedule, and I'll talk about the other one later. I got K-State winning big. I got K-State winning by by 21 points against Houston. Going
We're gonna be
8-0.
styling. We're gonna be styling on this game. This is gonna be huge morale going into the away game. The week after, yeah, this is gonna be a big victory. One that we're gonna actually probably get to see some maybe some like backups getting some reps in.
Absolutely. A little Avery Johnson in there. Oof, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
excited about
this will
that.
be a cool game to watch. I think even though it looks like it's going to be just an absolute domination, I still think it'd be a fun game to go see.
For
Even
sure.
though even though it looks like it's going to be a pretty clean victory either way. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is still going to be a fun game. Like I said, we're going to see probably some backups coming in, taking some reps. So that'll be
Definitely
cool.
going to be seeing some fireworks that weekend.
Yeah. Some
For sure.
styling plays, some big cool one-handed catch plays, big sacks. Yeah, that'd be
Hell
cool.
yeah. It's going to be a fun game. Okay. We're 2/3 of the way through. 4 games left in the regular season.
So the let's see, 7-1, you're 8-0.
I got them 8-0, you got them 7-1. They're going to Texas. College game day may be there. Let's be honest. College game day may be there. I don't know who else is playing that weekend. That might be Alabama LSU weekend. I don't know. But I feel like K-State at Texas has a possibility. If K-State's 8-0 and Texas is who everyone thinks they're going to be, which is one of the best teams in the conference, they'll probably be 7-1, 6-2 at worst, because they got Alabama in the non-conference, and they're a good team. I got K-State losing at Texas by 7.
Same. I have them losing maybe by 10, but yeah, same
7. I guess I could see 10 points. I could see that.
Yeah, I have them losing again at Texas. Like we just had this incredible styling victory. We're feeling ourselves a little bit, We go down to Texas, and they're a tough team down there, man. Texas Longhorns has always been that team, So I feel like we're gonna get smacked a little bit going away, after we just had this styling victory. I don't know. Again, I mean, I don't know who Texas plays before us, and I don't know again, going into it, what it's going to look like. But just preseason predictions are so tough, especially when you get this late when you're predicting this late in the season.
You're predicting way far in the future.
Yeah,
there's so injuries. You don't know coaching situations.
You don't know what's going on.
None of that.
Yeah, there's so many external factors that come into play during this kind of thing.
Yep.
But if you're just saying right now everyone's healthy, yeah, Texas has this win, unfortunately to say, for Texas or for K-State fans. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I've got them 7-2. You're at 8-1.
Yep. 3 games left. K-State is going to return at home. The day before my birthday, they're playing Baylor, who's going to be an improved team this year. They won a Big 12, not last year, the year before, obviously. And they did not have the best season last year. I believe they went 6-6. Maybe they went 7-5. I can't remember, but it wasn't the best season for them. But
we crushed them.
You think K-State's going to crush Baylor? I
said we did last year.
Last year, K-State did crush Baylor.
We didn't even give them a touchdown last year. Nope. That was amazing to see. Like you just said, Big 12 championships the year before. It's where are you at, Baylor? What's going on?
I feel like they're going to be much improved this year. I'm not sure they're able to hang with K-State at the end of the game. I got K-State winning by 3 to 7 points to go to, what is that, 9-1?
Yeah, right? I'm 8-2 here. K-State's winning. We're back at home. We put a clinic on them last year, and I don't think that's going to change this year. So yeah, no. I got them winning. This is going to be a cool game to go to. If I could go to any game at home, the ones I want to see for sure. Obviously, TCU is going to be a big game. That's the Big 12 rematch. Sure. That's other than the obvious Big 12 rematch, that Baylor game is going to be the one I would love to go watch.
Why is that? Why is it? You just feel like it'll be a good game?
It's late in the season. That's where all the drama happens. It's late in the season.
Okay, that is true. They did nip us late in 2012, K-State was undefeated, and
Yeah.
it was the 11th game of the season.
All the drama happens late in the season. You know, like you've got K-State basically only losing one game. Like,
yes.
think about this. Like, we're losing one game. What other team other than Texas is going to be maybe have lost one game in the Big 12? You know, like there's going
It's
to be
true.
some high pressure for these games that are going to be
Oh,
in the
yeah.
back half, especially like a team like Baylor, who's been historically a really big thorn in K-State's side, you know? And so it's like, you got Baylor, and then the next two games, obviously Kansas and then Iowa State, but like Baylor, you know, it's like, this is the home game that's going to be like determining if we like get a bowl game. You know what I mean? I just feel that in my gut. Like,
you mean in terms of like a big bowl game? You mean
a big bowl? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Big bowl game. I feel like, you know, like I said, all the drama happens at the end of the season.
Yep.
We'll see where we're at, but like, this is where, you know, we'll start to see, you know, Deuce Vaughn, like towards the end of like, he was just putting it on, like he was a superstar. We wanted to, he's putting in that work, and we're like, dude, this is amazing. And then like Howard comes in and like late in the season and starts showing us a whole different K-State look, and we're like, it just like revamped the excitement. So it's like, I wonder where K-State's going to be during this time in this part of the season. And they just never fail to like be super entertaining, like at this point in the year. So that's why I'm saying
November, man. That's when championships.
Exactly. It's the month, you know, and it's like the second week in November, coming back from a loss, in my opinion and your opinion, back from a loss from Texas at home. You know, again, with that hunger to win again, we're going against Baylor, tough team.
K-State has, I'm not jinxing this because it's super far away. K-State has never lost on my birthday or the day before my birthday. Never.
That's legit, man. That is
at least in football. Basketball, I don't know. That's a whole other thing. But football.
Is basketball even playing on your birthday? Like, I don't know.
It could be, dude, because they start early. They start in November for sure. So.
Oh, I did not know that.
We got 2 games left.
Okay, so you have what is it, 9-1? I'm
8-2.
8-2. Okay.
Going into second to last game at KU, which honestly I kind of feel disrespected because everyone is picking Jalen Daniels as like their player of the year. He's got like better Heisman odds, all that. He's not better than Will Howard. I mean, K-State dropped 47 points against KU last year, and K-State didn't even play that well. Like, let's be honest. Like, KU forced K-State into a bunch of third and fourth downs, and K-State still dropped 47 points on them. I do feel like KU is going to be up for this game. They're still not ready for K-State. I got K-State big. I got K-State by 20.
Dude, I don't know if it's just the absolute hatred for this college. You know, it's just like, I don't know if it's just because I don't know if it's that or if it's the 14 years of like domination. I don't see Kansas taking a victory even in their own court. You know, in their own field. It's the same way when they feel about us going to their home court. You know, it's like they have this. They've got the basketball, we've got the football. We know where we line up against each other, but it never ever disappoints seeing Kansas State go in there and just lay it on them. Year after year after year.
So we both got K-State winning big. You got K-State winning big.
Big. Almost as big as Houston. Maybe not as big as Houston, but big.
I like it, dude. Okay,
10-2.
You
9-2.
You got 9-2 going into Iowa State, which I feel like is the easiest game in terms of conference games on K-State's schedule. Iowa State's lost like basically their entire offense to that gambling scandal. Their running back just left the team. Their quarterback's not going to play.
This is a layup. This is a huge layup to end the season and then go into a big bowl game.
I feel like this is the easiest game. Having said that,
Big 12. Sorry.
I got K-State winning only by 10 points because it's a week after KU. It's a week before the Big 12 championship game.
Yep.
Iowa State always plays this close. So it could be a letdown game. Having said that, like I said, I still got K-State winning by 10.
I think they play as close when they actually have their full roster that they were planning on playing us with.
They could. I mean, they could. Honestly, if they had their full roster, I feel like K-State would probably win by more because they'd be more focused. I don't know. Regardless, K-State wins. 11-1 is what I got them.
11-1. That's massive. I have them. So I have 10-2. You have 11-1.
Yep.
I just have them losing against the Texas teams other than TCU. I feel like they're going to beat TCU, but yeah, I feel like they're just going to lose those 2 away games to Texas. But I mean, that's solid. And I feel like we're probably gonna meet the Longhorns in the Big 12 championship.
I also have K-State against Texas in the Big 12 championship game. And so does Cody. Cody has K-State also going 11-1. Cody, who's going to be joining us tonight. We all have K-State going to the Big 12 championship game. K-State playing against Texas. I got K-State winning another close one in Arlington. K-State by 3 against Texas. K-State to the college football playoff, which would be huge.
Dude, that'd be wild
for this program, dude.
Wait, is this the year that they're actually doing the bracket?
Next year.
It's next year. Okay.
So still 4 teams.
Okay. So I wish they would get rid of that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's besides the point. I digress. But yeah, honestly, dude, part of the reason why we started this podcast is the overall enthusiasm and excitement for this year of Kansas State football.
Yes, sir.
And man, like just the predictions and what we've gone over already on this podcast obviously shows that like this is a yet another K-State year. You know, this is going to be a big K-State year. Man, I just hope the rest of the country is ready to see it because I know I am, and I don't think they're ready.
I don't think they're ready. So you got K-State winning against Texas?
Oh, of course, dude. I mean, when you're in the championship, dude, you gotta go for your team. You know,
K-State is 2-2 in the Big 12 championship game. They lost in '98, in 2000, and then they won in 2003, and then obviously last year in 2022. If K-State wins, it would be their 4th Big 12 championship, and it would be the first time they've won back-to-back. So,
dude, I want that for this damn town so bad.
Yes.
We have just been getting the runaround for so long. Oh, Kansas State, you know, they're not
There's
that
nothing
legit.
to do in Manhattan.
There's nothing to do here. Like, take a look. Not only football, basketball. I mean, we're making waves. We're making waves.
K-State's a brand at this point. K-State is building the brand. And how sweet would it be to beat Texas in the Big 12 championship game in Texas in their last year in the Big 12?
Oh, what a great send-off. Here's a send-off present for you.
In the Big 12 championship game, K-State, that would be amazing.
Here's a great send-off present, a goodbye present for you there. Have fun. Have fun in the other conference. That would be amazing. That would feel so good because you know that they would want to end their Big 12 run with a championship, and for us to just snatch it from their hands is just going to feel so good. So
Absolutely.
of course, I got to go for the home. I've got to go for the home team, you know, and of course,
I feel like Arlington is going to be sold out. There's going to be probably 45,000 Texas fans. I feel like K-State's going to bring 35 to 40,000 people. If K-State's 11-1, 10-2,
dude.
It's gonna.
You just said it yourself. The first 4 games are already sold out right now.
Yeah, the first 4 home games. Yep.
Dude, if that doesn't indicate anything other than just sheer like enthusiasm in this team right now, that is what we're talking about. I mean, the rest of the world needs to understand how like this excitement and this enthusiasm for K-State. I don't think I've ever seen it this much, like because of what the coaching staff has done, what the scouting team has done. It's like in what we've shown last year, going right back into this year. We went over the roster, we went over everything. It's like you can see why people are excited. You can see why. So
absolutely,
yeah,
and this feels a little bit like 2012, a little bit different though, because 2012 K-State the year before in 2011. They won 10 games. They went 10-3, lost 2 games in a regular season, and then in the Cotton Bowl against Arkansas. A lot of people felt like K-State won a lot of lucky close games that year. And so the next year, K-State was, I think they're ranked like 25th going into the season, and they started off hot. Like they beat Miami by it felt like by 50 points. I know they dropped 50 on them, and that season started off great. And K-State started off 10-0, and then finished, I believe, 11-2.
Yeah, I remember
This
that
feels
season.
like, though, at the beginning of the season, if you're talking about in August, September, there's more hype for this team than that 2012 team that
That's what I'm
featured a
saying.
Heisman finalist, Colin Klein.
That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. There's more hype that I've never seen more enthusiasm and hype around a team around a K-State roster team year than this year.
I
And
agree.
I've been here for over 20 years. You've been here your whole life, so it's like
The only
and
time I remember like K-State like being like ranked this high or thought of this high since was like the year 2000 when Lee Corso picked K-State to win the national championship. And like K-State had like 3 losses, and 2 of them were to Oklahoma, who won a national championship. So this feels like
yeah.
definitely like the most hype in 20 years for sure. So
Yeah.
K-State starts off this Saturday at home against SEMO, September 2nd, 6 p.m. here at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. We both got K-State winning. Where are you going to be at when you're watching this game on Saturday, sir?
Man, I wish I was there, dude. But unfortunately, unfortunately, I'm gonna be watching this from my very comfortable and very luxurious couch.
Dude, your TV is massive,
it's
dude.
it's a nice size TV. It's only 65 inches only. First world problems, right?
Right.
but
That's how big mine is too. Yeah.
but I mean, I couldn't get tickets. I don't have I will be going to a home game for sure.
Okay.
I know that for a fact. The company I work for,
Oh, that's right.
they hand out tickets, and so I just have to I have to go fill the press box up with like a bunch of milk and ice cream, and then I just get tickets for it, which is cool.
Boom. Dude, they
Yeah.
have like the best ice cream. Like I get to sit in a press box. I'm lucky enough that I get to sit in a press box. I have this year is the first time in like 3 or 4 years that I have a press pass at every single home game. Now my family also has season tickets, so regardless, like I said, I don't miss home games. So regardless, I would either sit in the press box or with my mom. But I'll tell you what, when I do sit in the press box, the ice cream is on point for sure.
Yeah, you're welcome for that. I mean, I haven't delivered ice cream there in years, but the guys that do it, they're the same guys that like I work with and stuff like that. And they don't even ask for they don't go to the games. It's they forego the tickets and we just give them to somebody else. But if you want them, you have to work the press box for it. And so I think I'm going to be doing that on one of these home games. Maybe the Baylor game. That's the one I was kind of hyping up, and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, okay. And
Awesome.
and I get 8 tickets. I'm thinking about taking my whole family. My grandpa's a massive football fan, more NFL than college, but I don't think he's been to a professional, semi-professional, college, whatever football game in years. And I would love to take him to a K-State game. Maybe my grandma, my dad, my mom. I get 8 tickets, so I can fill up the family a little bit. So I'm excited to go to one of these games. I think I went to a couple last year, but this is before I met you. And then I've gone to a few in previous years as well. I don't make every game. I wish I could make every game. I just man, those tickets are expensive.
They are, and they've only gotten more expensive.
They only have gotten more and more expensive.
I'll tell you what, though, K-State's stadium is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful stadium. It's one of the best, in my opinion, in terms of looks and feel and loud decibel levels. It's up there, dude. It's an intimidating place for other teams to come to for sure.
It's super nice. Yeah. But like I said, the dang price, man, the price of those tickets is wild. And then it's like you want to go, but then then you look at the price, you're like, well, I mean, my couch ain't that bad,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I feel like you and I are definitely going to be watching a lot of games away games together for sure. Because
Oh
you
yeah.
and I both we get loud and proud, and so we have to be watching some games together, dude. You remember watching the K-State Baylor basketball game at my daughter's birthday party?
Yeah.
I brought like the computer TV. I can't remember what it was, but that's when we first
Your
started hanging out.
computer, you brought it to the building while while she was doing her birthday party thing, and like all the kids were running around.
We
My
were almost
daughter was
watching
running around, we were just sitting there eating trail mix, watching the game, going
it.
nuts.
We were going nuts, dude. We were going nuts for sure. So
Hey, really fast. What do you think? I already kind of I said what I think are my favorite, other than TCU is such a gimme for like the best home game, but
mhm.
other than TCU, Baylor, I have Baylor as the best a home game. And other than Texas being even though we're gonna we both have them losing that game, other than the Longhorns being the best away game to watch, because you and I are going to be watching that game,
Sure.
probably getting drunk because we're going to be sad that they're losing. But we'll just be mad. We'll just be mad the whole day. Like, just be ready
Right.
for that day to be just mad.
Right.
But like, other than that away game, like, what is your favorite away game to be watching? Like,
So
what do you have?
I feel like the Friday Oklahoma State game is gonna be a lot of fun because it's like the only game on. So everyone is gonna be watching that game. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Texas Tech is gonna be a great game. I got K-State winning close. I feel like those two games are probably the best away games outside of Texas, of course. Missouri is gonna be a good game too. In terms of home games, probably Baylor. I feel like Baylor is gonna be much improved this year. They had a lot to prove after not doing very well last year. They're going to be up for this game after getting throttled a year ago. I feel like Baylor is probably the best home game out of all of them. I mean, TCU is going to be a great game, but in terms of the final score, I think Baylor is probably the best home game for K-State this year, like you're talking about.
My pick for the away game that I have, other than TCU. I mean, I'm just gonna be depressed that day. Other than TCU, my favorite away game to watch is gonna be the freaking rivalry week. It's super
Ooh,
hype. I love watching K State.
should
Just,
we go? Should we go to Lawrence?
I mean, we could go. I mean,
Only an
I
hour
don't.
and a half.
I know, but I mean, I don't know. There's something about watching K State play at KU and just watching the fans just like
Oh
not
yeah.
just.
I remember I spent the night at a friend's house, and I was like in middle school or something, and we stayed up late playing video games. I'm sure we were playing football video games, and I woke up the next day like super late, and it's raining bad. I'm like, oh, what's the score of the K-State KU game? K-State, that's the one K-State won 64-0, and they were up six. They were up 64-0 when I asked that question. I'm like, okay,
Oh my
sweet. And then I watch the highlights later. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that was
It
awesome.
wouldn't it wouldn't be so funny. I would feel a lot worse, or like feel bad for them, if they weren't just dishing it right back at us
Oh,
during
dude, they're
basketball
talking
season.
so much trash right now, dude.
They are such trash talkers, and it's like, just,
Just stop.
man, just look at the scoreboards, bros, and look at the history. I mean, 14 years in a row.
I mean, and even like the last 30 years, 35 years, like K-State's won like 26 times or something.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's like, yeah, we've got the record for the longest like winning streak out of two
Yeah.
teams, but we also, over the course of like basically 40, like you said, 30 years, it's just it's never been in KU's favor. But
I
you
mean,
know,
it has been in KU's favor if you count anything before 1920. Anything from 1920 till now, K-State has like the
so 100 years ago is what you're saying.
Yes, because K-State's been playing since like 19.
So basically, no one that's ever been alive
Yes,
during
basically,
KU's
since
reign of fame.
everyone's been alive, K-State has the overall record. But KU always talks about the overall record. But come on now.
The overall record? Are you serious? That's
They,
like
they have like the overall record by like 9 games or something like that. I don't know.
that's like saying like when K-State was an amazing basketball unit back in the like 50s, right, or whatever.
Yep.
Like we can say that too, but we don't like to say that.
No,
You know, like
we do not.
it's not like, oh yeah, well, what about overall? It's like, come on, man, no one cares. It's
Okay,
all
so
like
K-State's played 120 games, and K-State has won 51 to 64 for KU, and then there's been 5 ties as well, and 1 disputed in 1980. What happened in 1980?
we have got to make another podcast talking about that specific
Yes,
game.
yes, the
The
disputed game. We
The
have to.
disputed 1980s game of
Yes.
KU versus K-State.
Wow.
Maybe get a KU fan on here so it's not so
No,
one-sided.
I'm good at that. I'm good with that. Dude, this has been a pretty fun first episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna be back. I think we've talked about this. We're gonna be back after Saturday's game, either Saturday night. Probably no, it'll be Sunday. It has to be Sunday. Sunday sometime for 30 minutes to an hour, just reacting to the game, and then we're gonna try to do this twice a week, previewing the next game, and then reacting to the game as well. And this is exciting. This has been a lot of fun, dude, and I hope K-State fans listen. And if they don't, I'm just having fun hanging out with you, dude.
Yeah, seriously. Talking K-State football, it's fun. I need to get you a dang purple light, man, so you can join the party.
You know, I have a rope light, and maybe what I should do is put it up here, and then we have a purple ambiance.
You get a purple light, and I'll get a K-State collared shirt.
Oh, dude, I got one for every day of the week. Because I have to wear polo for my job. So I have one every single day of the week.
But you've got this is your Tuesday one.
Yes. Yesterday I wore my black one. Today I wore this one. Tomorrow I believe it's my lavender one I'm supposed to wear, which is new. It's beautiful shirt. It looks great on me.
Where did you get these?
Okay, my wife buys them all except for the lavender, so I don't know. I think Marshalls. I think
we need to get sponsored by them.
I know, right? The K-State store. I got my lavender one I'm wearing tomorrow from Academy, and it was pretty expensive. It was $60, but it looks good. So
yeah, I mean, I gotta get some more. I have like a few shirts. I wish I had a jersey. I think that'd be cool to have a jersey.
That would be cool. I know they were doing that big sale. Like someone bought like 50 jerseys or something crazy like that.
I know there was like a Deuce Vaughn jersey, but I was like, come on now.
Right.
I mean, he was great and everything, but I kind of want just like a plain.
I want a Sproles jersey. I want a
Sproles. Yeah, there you go.
Sproles or Jordy. Sproles and Jordy and Terrence Newman and Michael Bishop. Those are the top 4. That's my Mount Rushmore, and we'll do a whole other episode on that if you want to sometime. But
I feel like you know more. I feel like you might have to take the full reins on that because I feel like you know more about the history of that than I do. I'm kind of new to like the following, like because I like you watch. I feel like you watch to like really get to the history of all of it, and you're like the stats guy and everything. And for me, I'm just like watching. I'm just like really there for like the enjoyment and just the overall like experience of
I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah, just to consume it and watch the game. I love watching.
You've added some great color commentary, and like we didn't even talk about like hardly anything here. Like I kind of did a brief overview for people that don't know about what we're going to talk about, and then we just started. And whenever I stopped talking, thankfully he started talking. Like this has worked out pretty good for the first episode.
Yeah, so. This is good stuff, man.
Absolutely.
This is really good stuff. I like I said, I'm excited, man. First game's coming up again. The enthusiasm's real, man. K-State, we're bleeding purple out here, man. We're bleeding deep purple right now. And this has been the Purple Pod. I'm Kenny.
I'm Steve.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys on Sunday, and then again on Tuesday nights. We're gonna
We'll probably be doing them on Tuesday nights and uploading on Wednesday.
All right, so we'll catch you on Tuesday nights and Sunday afternoons.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool.
All right, guys, take it easy and go Cats.